This is a status hearing involving the Lenz children. Ms. Lucero is with us now, representing Ms. Hertado. The father, Mr. Lenz, is not with us.
You're the current caseworker assigned to the Hertado Lenz matter? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you been able to determine whether there's any prior court action, such as a prior removal involving the children in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And has there been, or is this the only case to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, I know that there has been cases in the past. I know that this case was removed on August 29th.
Okay.
This year.
And have all the parties been served at this point?
Yes.
Okay. And are there any outstanding paternity issues that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, sir, no.
Okay. But a paternity registry request has been made and is pending. Is that right?
Not on my behalf, sir, no.
Okay. Have the parents and or family members been, with knowledge, been asked to fill out the Indian Child Welfare Act questionnaire?
Yes.
Is there any reason to believe that the child is or may qualify for membership in a Native American tribe?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
I spoke to Stephen Lenz during our monthly visit, and he said that his grandmother was a member of the Choctaw Tribe, but she is currently deceased.
Okay. And has notice been sent to the tribe?
Yes, the notices were mailed out on the 13th of October, 2025.
Great, thank you. Has a service plan been created with the parents?
Yes.
Okay. And did either of the parents sign? I understand dad is in jail.
Yes, both parents signed.
Okay, great. Are you asking for the court to make those service plans part of the court order today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just for the record, what services are they agreeing to?
For mom, she is agreeing to a psychosocial assessment, drug testing. She completed her parenting class with Family Support Services, and she's also going to do a Padre parenting class and also a domestic violence support group.
Okay, and then what about the father?
For dad, he's going to do an OSAR anytime that he tests positive for an illegal substance, drug testing, psychosocial assessment, individual therapy, and he's also going to be doing parenting classes and BIP classes, and he will comply with all the judicial orders pertaining to his criminal case.
Great, thank you. And were there any providers the parents identified that outside of the department's list of providers?
Yes, for mom, she completed a parenting class through Family Support Services.
Okay, but you didn't have any objection to that as qualifying as an appropriate class?
No, the only thing that happened with that class was that she's also to complete a supplemental packet provided by me or the parent support worker, and mom has received that.
Excellent, thank you. Have you been able to, other than that, have you been able to make any referrals for any of the providers that have been identified?
Yes, mom has been referred to Jennings Counseling. She actually has an appointment scheduled today at 2 for that. Mom has been complying with drug testing. She has a Padre appointment today as well at 10 a.m. And she provided me the certificate for the parenting class through Family Support Service.
Great. And I assume dad is hamstrung by his current situation. Do we have any idea about when he may be released?
Yes, his release date is December 20th, 2025.
Okay. And are there any services he can participate in now, or are we waiting until his release?
We're waiting until his release, but he is gonna ask around in the jail.
Okay. And then as far as this is not my case, so I'm going to butcher the name. Renesmee and Autumn June, the two children, where are they placed and how are they doing?
They're currently placed in a foster home. They're doing really well. They have a very well-established routine. Renesmee goes to elementary school and Autumn goes to daycare.
Okay. And have you been able to determine whether or not there's been any relatives or fictive kin who might be available for placement?
I did submit a request to find relatives with mom's help. She provided me the information that was needed. And I also know that there was a home study completed for a family friend on Saturday, and I'm waiting for the results on that.
Okay, and if if that were to the home study were to be approved, would you then anticipate placing the children with the family friend?
Correct.
Okay. And how old are the kiddos?
Renesmee is 4 and Autumn June is 2.
Okay, so they're not old enough to have an opinion about that then. Who are the children's medical consenter?
Medical consenters are the foster parents, and backup is a CPA.
Okay, and none of them are on any kind of psychotropic meds, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and are the foster parents also at this time the education decision maker, recognizing that they're not quite of school age yet?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. What reasonable efforts have been made to either return the children home or to place with a relative or fictive kin?
The reasonable efforts have been the home study that was completed this past Saturday, and then mom has been working on completing her services.
Okay. At this time, should the department continue to retain temporary managing conservatorship of the children?
Yes,
And why is that?
because they haven't completed the services and dad is still currently incarcerated.
So, and would you say that the family plans of service that we're requesting to have made part of the court orders today are in the best interest of the children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any additional orders that you're looking for at this time?
Not at this time.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Vasquez. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lucero, questions?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Vasquez, what type of visits is Ms. Hertado having with the kids?
Thank you. She is currently having in-person visits. Sometimes our transportation is not able to bring her to Amarillo. So when that does happen, she has virtual. I know last week it was virtual visits with Renesmee and Autumn.
All right. So if transportation is available, is she visiting every week?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
mean,
Every
that's the
week?
schedule.
Yes, ma'am.
And for how long?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay. At this time, and I know we're early in the case, but at this time, would the Department of St. Francis be opposed since they're having to travel? Would it? And I have to discuss this with Ms. Hertado, but I'll follow up with you after the hearing. Would it be possible maybe to do 2-hour visits rather than 1-hour visits? I mean, if there's staff available and transportation available.
If there's staff available and transportation available and it's approved, I don't see why not.
Okay, thank you. And as far as you'd stated that as of right now, of course, they haven't finished, well, Ms. Hertado hasn't finished her services. Besides her finishing her services, completing her services, are there any barriers for reunification besides the service plan and the services completed?
I'm unsure, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grant?
Thank you. Ms. Vasquez, how many play therapy sessions has the 4-year-old completed?
Has the 4-year-old completed? I know that she is going, but I couldn't give you an exact number of how many she has completed at this time. I know last week it was canceled because her provider was ill, but I couldn't give you an exact amount at this time.
And do you recall the name of that provider?
Yes, she's going through Jennings counseling.
Okay. And do you have any safety concerns or emotional well-being concerns about returning the children home today?
At this time, yes, I do. Father is still currently incarcerated and mom is gonna complete her intake with Jennings counseling in order to get her assessments completed and her individual therapy started.
Okay, and outside of completing the services, would you agree with me that there's still a continuing danger to return these children home to the mother today?
I do agree with you.
And is that continuing danger that we have not resolved the reasons for removal?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Vasquez, would it be contrary to the children's welfare to be returned to either parent today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And I noted from reading the report and also from CASA's recommendation, is Ms. Hertado's counseling, is it in person or virtually?
I know that today's going to be the initial, and I'm hoping that it would be virtual because she does live in Shamrock.
Okay, that may be a problem, but okay. All right, then. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Vasquez?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graff, anything further from the department?
No, Judge. Thank you. State rest.
All right, Ms. Lucero, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grant, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Grant, recommendations?
Judge, I think at this time, the department should be continued as temporary managing conservator. The children's placement is safe and appropriate, and they're making all their appointments and doing well. And that the mother and the father be ordered to do their services as court ordered today.
All right, thank you. I did have one other question, Ms. Vasquez. I show that Mr. Lenz is an alleged father. Has he asked for any paternity testing yet?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. If you talk to him again, would you at least discuss with him? And he does have a lawyer now, Mr. Nowak, but he couldn't be with us today. So, okay.
Judge,
Ms. Williamson,
I'm sorry, Judge. I don't mean to cut you off.
go ahead.
Just was going to let you know, Ms. Canada did send on September 8th a letter to the paternity registry doing a paternity search.
Okay, great. All right. All right. Ms. Williamson, CASA have anything to add?
We have nothing more to add. We agree with Ms. Grant.
All right. I know the CASA report had stated that they thought basically because Ms. Hertado's counselor, Jennifer Peavy, said she believes that her counseling needs to be in person. So I'm not going to necessarily order it, but if that could be arranged, her own counselor thinks that it needs to be in person so that she'll benefit from it. All right, then. I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator, continue the children's current placements. I'll order the services for each parent as contained in their service plans. I will order that Ms. Hertado's visitation be increased to 2 hours weekly. We will have our next hearing, the initial permanency hearing, on February 18th, 2026. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties can either ask their lawyers or anyone can go on the court's online docket a day or two before February 18th to see exactly what time of day we'll have that hearing. Ms. Hertado, if you'd unmute, please. If you're on a phone, you can hit *6. I think we'll unmute you. Okay, there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Hertado, I need to admonish you today. The services that are contained in that service plan become a court order today. At a final hearing, if you haven't worked those services, the court can consider that in determining what to do at the conclusion of this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm
thanks.
working my services that
Yeah.
are needed. And if I may add, Renesmee, she's really talkative. She will state her opinion on whether she is safe with Yurida Soto or not.
I didn't understand that at all. She would state her opinion as to what?
If she is safe with Yurida Soto or not.
Safe with who?
Yuri Soto,
Who's that?
the placement.
Oh, all right. Well, I tell you, I didn't order this, but I'm going to order it now, and I need you to listen to this. I'm going to order that there'll be no visitation for Mr. Lenz with the children until further court order. So, and that means that you can't aid him in having visitation with them by phone, by virtual, until the court order. So he's to have no contact with those children. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I understand. I've read the reports. It sounds like you two plan to get back together as soon as you can, but until the court feels safe with that, I don't want him around these children at all. So, all right. Ms. Vasquez, I want to commend you. You were very well prepared for this hearing, and I appreciate that tremendously. It makes things go so much smoother for us. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, this is a final hearing involving the Lusk child. Mr. Grant is with us representing the children. The parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lusk, are both with us. Again, this was set for final hearing. Mr. and Ms. Lusk, anything y'all want to tell me before we get started?
Yes, Your Honor. I feel like this case has been mischaracterized. On the paperwork, can you hear me?
Because they're both unmuted, you're getting
Can you mute
Yeah, one
yours?
of you needs to mute because you're reverbing really bad. We can't hear you because of that. Okay, now
Okay.
try it.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Yes. We have still not been communicating with, or St. Francis is still not communicating with us. We didn't know except by our own request yesterday that this hearing was today. They tried to get us to sign some documents that would keep Wyatt in care, which we're in favor of, but it would require us, I don't even know what the documents are. They're incomplete. We would like to ask for an extension on this. Wyatt was taken from our home because he's abusive. He was very abusive to us, not us to him. We have his special needs sister lives with us. He was very, very abusive to her. We begged CPS to get involved and remove Wyatt from our home. We exhausted Boys Ranch and some other things to try to get him out of her home. We exhausted.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. I
Uh,
want to kind of just throw an objection out there. I think Mr. Lusk's motion is the request for extension, is my understanding. And
yes.
so I didn't want him to think he had to explain the whole case since he's obviously not an attorney.
Yeah, I have. I'm familiar with this case from the get-go. I know why the removal was made, and we've run up to the end of the year-long period. So, does everybody agree that Wyatt still needs some more help before he could even consider going home?
I don't think my client agrees with that assessment, Your Honor. We looked at the statute and the case law and discussed it yesterday. I mean, we'll abide by the court order, but we do not agree with some of the factual statements made, nor do we find an extraordinary circumstance that would justify this. From St. Francis' perspective, Wyatt is ready to return home now. Parents disagree. We sent a standard PMC agreement and would continue to work on reunification efforts, but we feel that we're up against a hard statutory deadline.
Well, we haven't had an extension. We're not against any deadline if I extend it, but.
But that is, I would agree with that statement. We're just saying that we're not in a basis we don't believe there's a basis to agree, but we'll abide by the court order if the court
Well,
wanted.
let me ask you, Mr. Lusk, what is it you're wanting? What they want to do is name the department permanent managing conservator and continue to get Wyatt the help he needs. So why do you object to that? You don't want him home yet.
We're not ready. I mean, he is abusive at our home. He's been kicked out.
I understand all that, but we're up to a deadline where we have to do something with this case.
Okay.
They want to name the department permanent managing conservator, name you and your wife possessory conservators. They'll continue to provide Wyatt the help that he needs until and if you ever decide you do want him home. I can't make you take your son back.
Okay. Well, you know what? We've had very little. We don't even know what's going on because we receive no help from St. Francis. So we're not sure. Yes, that's what we need, I guess. Yes, sir.
Well, let me, you were told at the beginning of this case, if you can't afford an attorney, you have the right to ask that I appoint an attorney for you. No one has ever filled out the paperwork asking for an attorney. Sounds like you need an attorney.
Okay.
I can tell you that. So I would say if you want to hire an attorney, hire one. If you can't afford it, you can fill out paperwork and I'll consider whether or not you and your wife are entitled to an attorney at no cost to you.
All right, we'll do that.
But if you're going to do that, Mr. Graff, I am not prepared to make this a final order today. So
We understand, Judge.
So the court on its own motion is going to extend this case and retain the case on the court's docket. Brittany, give us a date for no more than 30 days out. Mr. and Miss Lusk, you can, if you can't afford a lawyer, you can fill out that paperwork and I'll determine whether or not you're entitled to an attorney at no cost to you. It has to be filled out completely. It has to be returned either to St. Francis and they'll get it to me, or you can return it to me directly at my office at the Randall County Annex at 4320 Southwestern in Amarillo.
All right. Yes, sir.
But just so you'll know, that's where we're headed. It looks like if Wyatt's not going to be ready to come home within, according to you and your wife, in 30 days, I'm going to go forward with the final hearing. And just so you understand, what they're wanting to do is name the department permanent managing conservator, name you and your wife possessory conservators. And we'll see when and if you ever decide you think Wyatt's ready to come home. If not, that's how Wyatt will turn 18.
All right.
Okay. Brittany, when can we reset this final?
Judge, if it helps, I looked on our calendar. We've got a hearing date for November 19th, if that works for the court.
That works for
Yes,
me.
I'm sorry, I was on the phone.
Okay.
Sorry,
popping
Brittany.
off this morning. Thank you, Leslie.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm going to reset this final to November 19th, 2025. Mr. Mislowski, you can either go on the court's online docket or ask anyone with St. Francis or the department what time of day we'll have that hearing. And in the meantime, if you want to ask for that court-appointed attorney, let's be sure someone from CPS or St. Francis get them the vouchers to fill out to ask for court-appointed attorneys.
I see Ms. Sessions nodding her head. We'll do that right after the hearing, Judge.
Okay.
Your Honor,
All
may
right.
I ask for an additional order?
Sure.
I believe that the agreed order that was circulating, there may be some questions that Mr. Lusk has about the financial portions of it as well. I think there's a child support request in there. If I could ask that he be ordered to provide maybe an income tax return or something, I would be happy to look at that and work through it and see if there's a math issue with it that needs to be corrected.
Okay.
And possibly in the next 30 days, we could iron out some of the disagreements on this order and get an agreed order before the court.
Sounds
All
good.
right. That's a
And
good idea.
Mr. Lusk is welcome to call my office, Your Honor, if he'd like to discuss Wyatt. I can update him on Wyatt. Or if he'd chat me his cell phone number, I'd call him, reach out to him.
Okay.
Questions?
Mr. Lusk, if you want to, do you know how to use your chat feature? Let me
No,
just do this. Let me just do this. Our last hearing is going to be Mr. Oh, well, it's not your hearing. I'm going to go ahead and take this off YouTube, and then Mr. Lusk, you can get Ms. Grant's phone number. Give me just a second to take us off YouTube.